Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you here to the 14th race of the 4th season of the NCAA Duracell Cup Series. It's the first race of the second half of the regular season. It's a portion of the season that I call the chase towards the chase for the championship, and it's the portion of the season now where drivers are able to kind of evaluate what happened during the first 13 races of the season and kind of pick and choose what moves need to be made here in their attempt to make it into the playoffs, of course, with a chance of winning the championship at the end of the year. Different drivers going to have different agendas. All of them in here tonight would love to be able to win the Crown Jewel race. It's the longest race that we run the entire season, 80 laps here tonight at the D-shaped mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Coca-Cola 600. On point is going to be Matt Haas. Talked about how different drivers have different agendas. Well, last year, Matt Haas made his way into the playoffs for the first time in his career. After 13 races this season, however, he's only finished inside the top 10 3 times. He subsequently is 25th in the points coming into this race. So, obviously, he would love to get to victory lane, but he also wants to get his season kind of turned around. It hasn't been the best start so far for that single-car Toyota team. Alongside of him, though, you've got J Qualls. Now, J Qualls, his goal is to go to victory lane. Qualls comes into this race currently with 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s. He's currently 7th in the point stand. So, if he were to find victory lane, he would almost likely secure himself a spot in this season's playoffs. Behind them, you look at row 2, you've got Jordan Lopez. Lopez comes into this race, the defending champion of the series, but he hasn't gone to victory lane yet. Last time out, I should say, at Fuel Motorsports Park, had a great run. He's currently finding himself top 5 in the point stands in 5th, but he's still trying to find victory lane to defend his title. And a driver who, as a rookie last season, went to victory lane twice. That is J Thibodeaux. So far this season, no trips to victory lane, but he is 10th in the point standings coming into this one. So as I said, different drivers, different agendas. Obviously, everyone here tonight wants to win the Coca-Cola 600, but a lot of other drivers as well want to set their footing to be able to get a playoff spot in the end of the regular season. And another thing too, which I'm going to get to momentarily, is the battle for the playoff spots. I think they're going to be even crazier this season than they have been in any of the past 3 seasons we've had of Duracell Cup Series competition. I'll tell you why in just a moment, but we're going to go down trackside. We're going to get those most famous words in motorsports. We're going to get this longest race of the season underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pace car going to make the slow crawl off of pit lane, leading Matt Haas, J Qualls, and others. Take a look in the description below for your official starting lineup for today's event. Point standings coming to this race are as follows. After the first half of the regular season was over, Dylan Young emerges the points leader, 17 points over Benny Watson. Jesse Turner, who last time out at Fuel Motorsports Park picked up his 2nd win of the season. He's 3rd in points coming into this race. Adam Garcia, he is 4th, and Jordan Lopez, the defending champion, is 5th. Jack Mitchell right now in 6th, 7th is J Qualls, J Millz in 8th, 9th Levi McIntire, the defending winner of this Coca-Cola 600, and J Thibodeaux finds himself in 10th, 38 points, separate the top 10 in the standings coming into tonight's Coca-Cola 600. As I mentioned, it's going to be very congested, I think, here for these final 13 races for the playoff positions because we've had 10 different winners. I'll actually make that 11 different winners, but 10 of them are inside the top 20 in points. Jesse Turner and T Wright right now with 2 wins. Dylan Young, Adam Garcia, Charles Belding, Mitchell Collins, Cole Deaver, Ryan Butcher, Ryan Brommer, and K Batson. Those are the 10 drivers right now that have playoff spots locked up with wins and being inside the top 30 in points. We'll see if another driver adds their name to that list, as only 16 drivers at the end of the regular season can battle for the championship. 80 laps of racing tonight at Charlotte. Matt Haas and J Qualls bring us down, and the Coca-Cola 600 is green. Let's roll! Haas to the point, Qualls to 2nd, Lopez trying to move by Thibodeaux for 3rd. Expect some crazy racing early on here. This could set the tone for the remainder of the race of how they race these first 10 laps or so. They're going to have to pace themselves. It's a long event. And we're going to see green flag pit stops potentially come into play as we have in seasons past. J Qualls looks to the inside of Matt Haas as Haas led the first lap. Qualls wants to lead the second one. The trouble spot tonight's going to be right here in 1 and 2. The way drivers approach turn 1 is a lot different than how they approach turn 3. A lot more speed is carried. More often than not, the groove you enter in, you're going to be about a half groove higher when you exit out of the corner. As squeezed up into the wall was K Friesen, courtesy of R Brommer there through 3 and 4. Qualls to the point. Thibodeaux now looking to the inside of Lopez for third. Trying to pick off two birds with one stone as they'll try and get second from M Haas. We're 4 wide back there. Jack Mitchell, Cole Deaver, who's backing out of this? Dylan Young, the points leader, was in the middle of that along with William Brock, and they somehow made it through. We're 4 wide again, though. Garcia and Gardner making it 4 wide with Brock and Young. Oh, this is a terrible spot to be 4 wide. A D-shaped front straightaway. Somehow they made that work. 3 wide up ahead. Make it 4 wide. Michael Norman, Benny Watson, Thibodeaux and Haas. Watson clears Thibodeaux, making it 3 wide off the corner. We saw a lot of near misses in the qualifying race here earlier on tonight. And that was with 26 drivers on track. There's 42 drivers in this field. And we've avoided near disaster a couple of times already, only 5 laps in. Norman now trying to go to second. There's the defending winner of this race, Levi McIntyre. 9th in points, winless so far this year. 4 wide again, maybe? That would have been for 5th place. Deaver almost stuck his teammate Charles Sandfer in the middle of a 4 wide situation, but he backed out of it. Oh, we're 4 wide again. Patrick Smith in the 77. Oh, look out in the back. Taylor Gerdes spinning Quentin Moore. Do they save it though? Look out. Moore's coming back up the track. And he's going to get Cole Baker. Caution's going to wave. Wreck in turn 2. They're still wrecking further up as well. Someone's spinning on the backstretch. That's Cole Deaver. Benny Watson there in the middle of the field. Look out. Oncoming traffic. It gets nailed by Taylor Gerdes. Does Benny Watson. Sampsell's involved. Baker sliding in. Quentin Moore, K Mathews amongst others. There's the 69. There's the 75. Caution's going to fly as absolute pandemonium breaks loose on the 6th lap of this race. It started out of turn 4, carried over to turn 1, and finished over on the backstretch entering turn 3. We've got a lot of torn up machines, and an 80-lap event comes to a very speedy end for a number of drivers. One of them was 2nd in points, Benny Watson. There's Gerdes and Moore. They had to qualify in through the knockout qualifying session earlier. There is K Mathews. Cole Baker, who was the winner of one of the segments for the All-Star Open, thusly participated in the All-Star race last week. He's involved. There is what remains of the wounded Hers Toyota Camry of Benny Watson. J Shelton was involved in the 0-2. Rear end damage to K Batson. Last time out's winner, Jesse Turner, 2-time winner, has some rear end damage. I also see Cole Deaver and N Ormond in the vicinity of these wounded race cars. Don't know if they may have gotten pieces of the incident, or incidents I should say, as everybody is on pit road here, taking the opportunity to pit under the caution flag, with the exception of the 6 of Zach Rogers. Rogers, who comes into this second half of the regular season the furthest down in points of the chartered machine, so he'll stay out to get a bonus point for a lap led. Still looking for his first top 10 of the season is Zach Rogers. He's the only chartered driver that doesn't have a top 10 yet this year. Now it looked like Levi McIntyre won the battle off pit road, so he will more than likely be the race leader when we go back green over Michael Norman, M Haas, Charles Sandfer, and J Qualls. Let's go back and take a look at everything that happened back there. First caution of the evening here in the Coke 600. We were talking about 4 wide. How about 5 wide here off of turn 4? That's Gerdes, Moore, T Wright, Mitchell Collins, and Austin LaPlante. There's the contact there as Gerdes gets Moore in the left rear quarter panel. We saw them driving through the infield grass. Now that was fine, but then you get down here to a very congested turn 1 with drivers racing double, 3, and on occasion 4 wide. There just wasn't going to be much room for drivers to make their way back up onto the racing surface. I mean, they're 4 wide right there with Baker, Baker, Rodriguez, Butcher, and Rogers. Quentin Moore's trying to find a way from that flat apron back up onto the racing surface. He's going to get the 11 of Cole Baker. Also the 15 of Tristan Allen, and slides up in front of the 0-2 of J Shelton. And while all this was going on, we move further up here. Now, let's see where the contact was that sent Benny Watson around. There it was. We'll see if we can get a better camera angle of it. But it looked like Cole Deaver might have been the one that tagged the 75. And I don't know if someone maybe got into Deaver as well. Everybody's trying to scatter to the inside, and Benny Watson's car is going to come down the racetrack right here. Cody Llamas, Michael Wayne Robinson, they avoid, but Taylor Garrett is not so lucky. And what happened there with the 13 of Adam Sampsell? I just saw that. Oh, there's where Cole Baker and Kyle Mathews know where to go as well for those two machines. But something else happened here with Sampsell in the 13, and I didn't even take notice of that. Oh, he just came flying in. This is where Jesse Turner and Keith Batson got their rear end damage, because Sampsell never lifted. He flies in, and then 98 of J Millz. The whole left front fender gets ripped off of his Louisiana hot sauce Ford. There's Cole Baker again, and Kyle Mathews getting into Watson. Baker comes sliding by Adam Sampsell. Might have made a little contact there. And then Quentin Moore, left side of your screen. He comes flying in into the back of Kyle Mathews. And there's a lot of hard hits that I saw taken right there. Now, I want to go back real quickly and see where the initial contact was between Deaver and Watson. Let's see if this camera angle gives us an idea. That's Adam Garcia, the bright yellow machine on the bottom. Patrick Smith in the middle. Is there contact? Does Smith maybe come up into Deaver, who then gets into Watson, or was there contact from behind? The two drivers behind were Carter Friesen in the 37 and Jordan Lopez in the 38. It's hard to tell even from that angle where the initial contact was, but I'll tell you the one who dodged the bullet out of this was that 08 of Cole Deaver. Makes contact there with the nose of his Good Run Chevrolet, but all the mayhem's happening up above him on the racing surface. So Cole Deaver was very lucky that he spun where he did. And we're going to take another look at the shot that Benny Watson takes right there. Oh, it's just a death knell. And there you see Sampsell further up getting into Batson, Turner, J Millz there as well. And then here comes Cole Baker. Couldn't get low enough. Kyle Mathews couldn't get low enough. Remember when I said the different drivers had different agendas coming into tonight's race? I'm pretty sure top of the list for most of these drivers it was survive. And unfortunately for maybe upwards of 10 drivers, that was not the case. We're going to have quite a number of drivers in the garage area, and we're not even 10 laps into this race yet in the Coke 600. Interesting strategy call here on the part of Zach Rogers. He did not come to pit road, so apparently he feels being out in front is the best place to be, even though he'll be completely off pit sequence with everybody else. Drivers, however, that won't have to worry about pit sequence. Out of the race, a total of 7 drivers here, including Benny Watson, second in points Benny Watson, I should point out, Quentin Moore, Cole Baker, Tyler Gerdes, Adam Sampsell, Kyle Mathews, and J Millz. Millz came into this race 8th in points. Cole Baker, he was 12th in the standings. And Kyle Mathews, he was 33rd in points. The other 3 drivers, they were non-charter drivers that had raced their way in. Sampsell actually was the winner of the non-charter race earlier on this evening. It'll be Zach Rogers, the leader, when we go back green. Levi McIntire second, Michael Norman third. Fourth will be Matt Haas, followed by Charles Sandfer in fifth. James Qualls, Carter Friesen, Johnny Gardner, Charles Belding, and Mitchell Collins. That is going to complete the top 10. 70 laps to go here in the Coke 600. We'll see if this first caution calms things down just maybe a little bit here. That's the green flag back in the air. Johnny Gardner back there. First car to fan out to the inside. He'll look to the bottom. Getting around Carter Friesen for 7th. Charles Belding looks to fill that hole. Battle for 2nd place now, as Michael Norman looks low on Levi McIntire. Couldn't get a run down the back straightaway. McIntire now with a big run. He'll go to the inside of Zach Rogers. Remember, all these drivers that came to pit road took on 4 fresh tires and fuel, as there was some contact right there between Norman and McIntire. Norman trying to bump Levi on the front straightaway. But I was going to mention that with Zach Rogers staying out, he's had a deficit not only fuel-wise, but in terms of tire grip going into these corners. And you can see he's been kicked up to the outside. He's starting to fade back. We might be going 3 wide for the lead. No, instead it'll be Matt Haas taking the top spot away from Levi McIntire. Not so fast, though. J Qualls wants to look for the top spot again. And we're back to 3 wide already. Already 3 wide. Almost was 2 rows deep there on the front straightaway. Now only 1 row. Now make it 2 as McIntire goes to the middle on M Haas. And teammates will go battling for the lead. Dodge has 1 win this season so far with R Brommer. That was back at ISM. But Joanna Atwood Motorsports, that Dodge team, they're still looking for their first win of the season. Qualls has led a couple of laps tonight, and now J Gardner is about to lead his first lap. Michael Rude, how about him? Non-charter driver, only took him 14 laps to get up to the front. After he started this race, back I believe was in the 39th position. 3 wide behind him, almost 4 wide. William Brock, oh, they're 4 wide. They are. Give room. Please give room. Oh, they do. I thought V Almariego was going to hook Michael Norman. I really did. And we're 3 wide, several rows deep. We're 4 wide. We're 5 wide. It's going to be another wreck right here. Unless they settle it out, which they do. Back to 3 wide they go. Woo! Gracious. I mean, a lot of these guys have had the opportunity to know what their cars can do here. Everybody either took part in the All-Star Open or the All-Star Race. And, of course, your non-charter drivers were in the non-charter race earlier on tonight. So they've had opportunities to get acquainted and familiar with what this track and what this aero package is going to do. And we're 4 wide again. Rodriguez, McIntire, Collins, and Garcia. Who backs out of it? Nobody. Garcia just swung around all of them on the high side. 4 wide further back. Phil Parker's up into the wall. Michael Wayne Robinson, Cody Llamas, Ryan Acosta, and Carter Friesen were a part of that 4 wide formation. And we got a slow car up ahead. This could be trouble. That's Jessica Shelton in the 0-2, who was involved in the last caution, off the pace, and she's holding up the inside line. They're all trying to find their way around her. Top 4 have gotten around, and now Shelton's going to break this field up. Right now, she's holding up Matthew Rodriguez, Carson Gum, and other drivers on that top side. They're all trying to find a way around the wounded Kana Chan Chevrolet, but the field is mightily broken up now because of this. Which, in all retrospect, while it definitely is going to hurt the drivers that she's holding up, it may end up having us go into a long green flag run, which the Coca-Cola 600 is very well known for. Well, I think I don't know if Shelton's trying to get down to the bottom to maybe get to pit road, but it's not working. Still stuck on that top side, and Matthew Rodriguez is going to drop from inside of the top 10 all the way outside of the top 25. Other drivers trapped in that top side include Mitchell Collins, Levi McIntire, and J Qualls. They're going to have a lot of work to do here after they get around the 0-2 of Jessica Shelton. Got to be a lot of frustration going on inside of those cockpits right now. Move towards the front, though. Michael Rude out in front. Battle is a 3-way battle for second between Gardner's Dodge and the Fords of Michael Norman and Adam Garcia. Garcia, of course, got his first win of his career back at Michigan. He'd love to be able to have a multi-win season now, and just look how the field's spread out. Leader going into turn 3. Tail end of the field's coming out of turn 2. There's Ryan Butcher, another former winner at Las Vegas. A lot of drivers have an agenda that they've already been to victory lane. They want to go to victory lane for a second time, like T Wright and Jesse Turner, because that puts them up in a higher seed when the playoffs are reformatted. Also gives them a better chance of staying up inside of the top 30 in the standings, which is what you have to do with a win to qualify for a playoff spot. Now, we talked about Zach Rogers being 36th in points. That's the lowest of any of the chartered rides. Well, just above him, 35th in points, is this driver, William Brock, in the 88. William Brock has 1 top 10 on the season, but his average finishing position in the first 13 races is 28th. Right now, he's holding down the 8th position, trying to get his second top 10 of the season, looking for his first top 5. As battle here for the 5th spot, Austin LaPlante, looking to the inside of Michael Norman. And Ryan Butcher now looking for the race lead on Michael Rude. Butcher's going to clear off turn 2, it looks like. Yes, he will. And Rude's going to cross him over, heading to 3. Charles Belding right there in the 91. Belding had a late win last year, which did not qualify him into the playoffs, but he got a victory as a rookie. And then this season, he got a road course win at Pukaka. Belding's 14th in points coming into this race, trying to see if he can get that Pigeon Racing entry into the playoffs for the first time in his career. And you see that light blue number 02 further up there, about maybe a straightaway ahead of these leaders. Jessica Shelton could come into play again. The field's a little bit more spread out, though, so they might be able to maneuver their way around her a little bit easier as Butcher back to the point. Adam Garcia trying to hold off Austin LaPlante. LaPlante's been struggling here in the first half of the season. 27th in points coming into this one. Former winner from last year when he won one of the Chili Bowl heat races. As a matter of fact, so far this season, Northeast Motorsports has failed to go to victory lane as they see Shelton. She's going to yield the top side to the race leaders. Everybody trying to get around her. J Gardner not able to. William Brock's going to get held up there as well. Shelton left the middle line open. Gardner didn't take it, and oh boy, look out. Things getting wadded up back here. Where in the world is Shelton going to go? She's going to go up to the top side. Let's see if they can stick her 3 wide there maybe. Is Gardner going to be able to get down to the bottom? No. Shelton instead goes back down to the inside and continues to hold drivers up. I think Shelton's trying to figure out where these drivers want to go. Some drivers have passed her on the outside. Some drivers have passed her on the inside. She's not sure where everybody wants to be. They can take it 3 wide here. Oh, Dylan Young actually just pushed Jessica Shelton up the track to get around her. Points leader's not going to take any guff. And we'll follow up on this, as now it's Carson Gum and Phil Parker trapped up there on the top side. Cody Llamas trying to get around Tristan Allen. That is for 9th. And Cody will get the spot at the line. Field really spread out again. Got 5 drivers up in this lead pack now. Maybe 6 if Michael Norman can latch on to the back of the 23. And I have a feeling, because of the field being spread out, you know, in our All-Star Open, our All-Star race, even the non-charter race earlier on tonight, it was really all about positioning. I have a feeling pit road's going to be a huge factor into this Coke 600. Saw a couple of drivers get really held up and fall to the back after getting caught behind Jessica Shelton that first time around. Notably, Levi McIntyre, the defending winner of the Coca-Cola 600. Let's see if he has made up any progress since then, and there is your answer. No, he has not. He's all the way back in 31st place along with Zach Rogers in 32nd. They're just now making their way around the now 2 laps down machine of Jessica Shelton. So Levi McIntyre is going to have to look in his bag of tricks, come up with something if he's going to double down here in the Coke 600. One driver that has been able to make some progress is Matthew Rodriguez. He was also trapped behind Shelton for a good portion that first time around. He's been able to work his way now back up into the 24th position. A lot of battling here in the middle of the pack. Matt Haas, the pole sitter, almost taking things 3 wide with 2-time winner Jesse Turner and the 14 of J Gardner. We've only worked 1 caution so far here tonight. That took out 7 drivers, 4 of them chartered machines and 3 of them non-chartered. And most of these drivers, with the exception of Zach Rogers, all came to pit road under that caution. So we'll be keeping an eye on that 6 and seeing when he dives to pit road, because when he does, I think it's safe to assume that within the next 5 laps of him coming to pit road, everybody else is going to have to hit pit lane. And we don't really off the cuff know what the fuel window is for these drivers, so it's going to make things interesting. As Austin LaPlante, nice run there through 3 and 4. He's going to take 2nd place from Michael Rude. This season, it's really been all Ford going to victory lane. Trey Wright, Chris Dollerton, Dylan Young, Keith Batson, Adam Garcia, Jesse Turner, Mitchell Collins. They've all gone to victory lane for the Blue Oval. Chevrolet, they've gotten wins courtesy of Charles Belding and Cole Deaver. Toyota has one win this season. That was courtesy of your current leader, Ryan Butcher. And Dodge has one win with Ryan Brommer at ISM, but it's really been all Ford. Right now, highest running Ford in the field is Adam Garcia in the 5th position, and you've only got 2 Fords inside of the top 10. So, could this be the time where Blue Oval kind of gets toppled? Remember, a Ford is the defending winner of this race too with Levi McIntire. And we're going to have traffic to deal with again, and this is going to be a lot of traffic for the race leaders this time. Jessica Shelton about to be lapped again, but also you've got, I believe that is Keith Batson and Ryan Brommer, the 39 and the 9 up ahead. And they're about to be lapped for the first time. So this is going to be a lot of traffic for Ryan Butcher and company to deal with. And Butcher wanted to go to the inside. Shelton did not give the lane. Look at Charles Belding up on the outside line. That might not be so smart for the 91, because Shelton's going to get forced up to the top side there. Belding now back down to the bottom. He's going to stick LaPlante behind the 0-2. So using Shelton as a pick is Charles Belding. And now LaPlante's going to make his way around the 0-2 of Shelton. That's going to be Norman, Thibodeaux, Vince Almariego, William Brock, and others that are going to have to deal with Jessica Shelton's Chevrolet momentarily. There you see Keith Batson, former winner this season from Springfield Mile. He's about to go a lap down, currently holding down the 33rd position. Last car on the lead lap, but that will not last if this continues on with this pace. And Zach Rogers coming off pit road, so here we go. Lap 42 would be about the time drivers would absolutely have to come to pit road, I would say, as Rogers makes his first green flag pit stop of the evening. It's actually his first pit stop overall of the evening. Are we under caution? I thought I saw the caution lights on. Yes, the yellow flag is out. Caution is out for the first time here tonight, right on the hinge of when these drivers are going to have to make green flag pit stops. And the driver that did not want to see that was the 6 of Zach Rogers, I guarantee you. Trying to look for where this would have been. I don't see any smoke. There are some skid marks up in 1 and 2 on the high side, but that might have been from an earlier incident. See if we can find... There's damage on the 93 of Michael Wayne Robinson. I don't know if maybe he's the reason we're under this yellow flag. Shelton's down pit road. See if we can find out. But everybody's going to be on pit road here. So we'll see what the field looks like after the pit stops are over. And with this caution coming out, we may now be in the fuel window that these drivers can make it on just one more pit stop after this. Have to wait and see about that as well. Caution comes out for the second time here tonight on lap 37. Let's see what it was. Turn 1 was indeed the place. Some hard racing back here, just inside of the top 20. We'll see where the contact's going to happen. Watching the 93 of Michael Wayne Robinson. He's got Phil Parker to his inside. Patrick Smith gets up into the wall, and then Robinson slides up and kind of crowds the 77 in. Jordan Lopez is going to get some contact, and then he hooks the 0-1 of Jack Mitchell, who's going to get the outside wall pretty good with the right side of his machine also. And then the scary thing is that oncoming traffic, maybe another blessing why the field was spread out, because then Michael Wayne Robinson, I think, was able to get his car refired without incident. Wow, Nathan Ormond! Gracious! Not sure you could have fit a sheet of paper between him and the 93 there. That was close. That's the problem with these self-cleaning high bank turns at Charlotte. But Michael Wayne Robinson, who so far in the races he has made in the Charter Series, has been a perfect 3 for 3 in finishing inside of the top 10. That damage he sustained right there might take away that streak as the Valvoline Ford brings out our second caution of the night here in the Coke 600. Well, I mentioned that caution coming out was not something that Zach Rogers and the 6 wanted to see. And as you can see, that is the case. he stayed out when everybody else came to pit road, so he will restart ahead of the leaders on the tail end of the lead lap. Now, he is going to be completely changing his opinion once we go green. He didn't want to see that last caution, but he'd love to see another caution come out immediately, because if he can stay ahead of the race leader, he would be able to cycle back around onto the tail end of the lead lap. So Rogers and Shelton, they will start ahead of our race leader. That is Michael Rood in the 00. Charles Belding will line up in second, but he has the lap machine of Keith Batson between himself and the 00. I believe Batson is going to line up on the inside line here. And it looks like now Rogers is going to actually be on the inside line. So is he trapped a lap down? We'll double check on that. Completion will be top 10 though. Ryan Butcher's going to be third. Austin LaPlante fourth. Vince Almariego fifth. Adam Garcia is sixth. Tristan Allen seventh. Eighth will be Cody Llamas. Ninth, William Brock. And Johnny Gardner in 10th. Rogers is indeed a lap down. That's why he had to be on the inside line. Shelton is 3 laps down. I'm a little confused about Batson, though, why he's up on the outside line, because he is also a lap machine. 35 drivers running, and 32 of them on the lead lap. Nobody out of the race after the incident we saw over in turn 1. We are now past the halfway point as well. When we hit the line that last time by, it was the midway portion of this race. So this is the home stretch. And we know that these drivers are going to have to come to pit road at least one more time. Because they can make it, I guess, based off of the fuel window we just saw, somewhere in the vicinity of 37 to 39 laps. If we go green to the end, maybe someone's willing to risk it and stretch it that 40th lap or so. We'll see. Coke 600 is known for fuel strategy races. See if that's going to be the case. Green flag, back in the air. Michael Rood, non-charter driver, gets us back underway. And this bears saying as well, Michael Rood is making his 4th start of the season here tonight. If he were to win this race, he would be the 2nd non-charter driver to do so this season, Dollerton being the 1st back at Manassas. Then Michael Rood would have the rather daunting task of having to make 6 more starts in the Charter Series before the end of the regular season in order to get a playoff spot. Rogers right now on the tail end of the lead lap with where he's running, but Belding wants to put him a lap down again, and he will do so in turn 1. Belding to the point, but here comes Ryan Butcher. He wants the top position back. Things really wadded up in the mid-pack there. Drivers trying to get around the wounded machines of Keith Batson and Jessica Shelton. 3 wide up here for the second, make it 3rd position. Vince Almariego and Austin LaPlante. Then you got the lap machine of Zach Rogers. 4 wide further back. Deaver, Carson Gum, Jesse Turner, and Jacob Thibodeaux. They settle it out. Dylan Young. We haven't talked much about that 2 car here today. But the driver that was trying to run him down for the points lead, Benny Watson, made an early exit here in the Coke 600. And so Dylan Young right now trying to grow that points lead. Remember, 10 bonus points to the regular season champion. And Dylan Young wants those. As we were 4 wide back here with Matthew Rodriguez, Nathan Ormond, Phil Parker, and William Brock. That is now since settled out. Back up towards the front. Driver on the move, Cody Llamas in the 84. Michael Norman Motorsports looking for their 2nd win on the year. Their only win so far, the non-charter Chris Dollerton that we already talked about. And Cody now looks to the inside of Michael Rood for 2nd as Vince Almariego, who last year picked up his 1st career win, now looking for his 2nd career win in one of the crown jewel races of the Duracell Cup Series. I see 4 wide further back there. That was Carter Friesen forcing the issue. We'll see if hopefully that settles out by the time they get to turn 3. No caution, so I'm assuming it did. And now Llamas will look to the inside of Vince Almariego. Almariego is 31st in points coming into this race. Cody Llamas 22nd. Both these drivers could certainly get their regular seasons turned around with a victory, as Cody will go to the point. Belding right there. Now looking to the inside. How about Cole Deaver? Just noticed that bright orange Wheaties Chevrolet back there. And the reason I'm pointing him out is he was involved in our first caution of the night over on the back straightaway. He spun down to the inside wall, made a little contact with the nose. But as opposed to most other drivers, he got through that relatively unscathed. And here he is, up inside of the top 10, with a chance of trying to pick up his second win of the season. Got his first career win about 4 weeks back in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Well, actually, I should call it the Throne of Games 500, since we have the custom name, at Darlington Raceway. So trying to win 2 of the 4 Crown Jewel races, and we're a 4 wide again. Carter Friesen, William Brock, and N Ormond all seem to be like want to be in a 4 wide situations here this run. That's at least the 3rd time I've seen them taking each other 4 wide. And there's our All-Star race winner. We haven't really talked much about T Wright, 2-time winner this season. Right now, he's mired back in 26th. I almost wondered about this caution, maybe breathing some new life into the defending winner of the 600, Levi McIntire, but he's still back here in 30th, and that car looks like he may be slightly off the pace. I'm also seeing the 18 of Michael Norman appears to be somewhat slow. And he was up inside of the top 5 at one portion of this race. So I'm wondering if there might have been some contact on pit road during the pit stops that we didn't see that might be affecting these drivers. Also the possibility some of these guys might have overdriven turns 1 and 2 and gotten up into the wall. Zach Rogers wants his lap back. He is fighting up here as if he's battling for the race lead. And we're going 4 wide off of turn 4. Still 4 wide down the D-shaped front straightaway. This is not going to be good over in turn 1. And it's not even going to make it to turn 1. Roger spun around in front of Adam Garcia. Caution comes out. Please don't come back down the track. Oh, they do. Smith, Ormond, McIntire, and Norman all going to get pieces of this one. Caution waves. 3rd time tonight in the 600. And Cody Llamas is going to lead them back to the start-finish line. You just knew that especially on the crooked front straightaway, 4 wide is never going to work, and they didn't even get over to the entrance of turn 1 before the contact was made. And Adam Garcia, Patrick Smith, Levi McIntire, they got some pretty extensive contact and damage in that one. Let's go back and see what happened. I don't know. This caution might put these drivers in the fuel window to make it the rest of the way. I think it does. I think from here on, they could make it to lap 90 if they came to pit road. So I would not be shocked to see everybody come into pit lane here. And indeed, that's the case. So we'll settle out who's running where after this cycle of pit stops in just a moment. Let's go back and take a more in-depth look at what happened in turn 1. Well, here it was. It's hard to tell where the contact really happened, whether maybe Rude came down into Rogers' right rear quarter panel or if Garcia forced him down there. I don't know for absolute certain. Tremendous job by a couple of drivers there. LaPlante, Sandfer, and Dylan Young down the apron to make sure they didn't snap back up into traffic. And like I was worried about, these drivers up here against the wall drifting back down into oncoming traffic. It's going to be the 23 of Garcia who tries to turn low to get around the 6 of Zach Rogers. And car on that outside line there is Patrick Smith. He's committed to that middle line. Can't get on the brakes quickly enough. And then there's the shot right there for Levi McIntire. I believe the right rear wheel actually went into the windshield of N Ormond. I think Michael Norman actually did get a piece of it there as well. K Batson was able to avoid this. But Smith's definitely done for the night. Levi McIntire may be done for the night. So looks like we may be guaranteed a new Coke 600 winner. We'll have to wait and see about that. That's the caution coming out for the 3rd time here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Waiting for the lights to go out atop the pace car. Should be this next time around, I would assume. And so we should get the green flag somewhere in the vicinity of 24 laps to go. Still a long ways to race in this one, but we do know that from this point on, fuel will not be a concern for these drivers. That's the 23 of Adam Garcia. He is trapped behind the pace car. I think he's on the tail end of the lead lap, and so I think he actually will restart there ahead of your race leader, which is J Llamas. Second place will be Michael Rude, V Almariego in third. Fourth place, C Belding. Fifth is going to be C Deaver. Sixth will be Austin LaPlante. Then Ryan Acosta, former champion of the series from Season 2. First time we've really mentioned his name all night long. He's going to be seventh. Eighth place will be M Haas, C Sandfer, Mitchell Collins in ninth and 10th. We'll give you a full field rundown here in just a moment, but I also want to point out, I mentioned about the fact that Levi McIntire was a former winner of this race, and we may have a brand new Coke 600 winner. There is still one other driver in the field tonight that is a former Coke 600 winner that could maybe double down, and that's the 88 of William Brock. He won this race back in Season 1. Rest of your lineup here, when we get ready to go back green, 11th place will be J Gardner, Tristan Allen 12th, 13th for J Qualls, Carson Gum 14th, Jack Mitchell 15th, 16th will be Phil Parker, Jesse Turner, his teammate, in 17th. Former winner of this event, like I just mentioned, William Brock, he's in 18th, T Wright 19th, and Jordan Lopez is in 20th. 21st will be Michael Wayne Robinson, Matthew Rodriguez 22nd, 23rd, Nathan Ormond 24th, Michael Norman, 25th, Carter Friesen, 26th is Ryan Brommer, Dylan Young in 27th, Jacob Thibodeaux in 28th. Last car on the lead lap is Adam Garcia there ahead of the leaders. He will be 29th. One lap down in 30th is K Batson. One lap down in 31st is Ryan Butcher. Not sure what's up with the 78. We'll follow up on that. Zach Rogers 2 laps down. Looks like he will be up in 32nd, and J Shelton will get up to 33rd at some point as Patrick Smith and Levi McIntire DNF'd from this wreck. And I'm being told that the reason the 78 is a lap down, he actually just rejoined the field there, is he made contact with Ryan Acosta on pit road, overshot his stall, lost some track position, and subsequently lost a lap. As lead change just took place there, might not have seen it, but it was C Belding following in the tire tracks of the lap machines. He's going to go to the point. J Llamas got trapped behind the 23. He's still trapped behind the 23, who looks like he's even further off the pace than J Shelton was, and that's stacking up the field back there. LaPlante now looking for the top spot, taking Belding 3 wide with the lap car of K Batson, and here comes the defending, or the former champ, Ryan Acosta in the 10. C Sandfer's now there in the 03, and also Mitchell Collins in the 22. Oh, we had a car on the apron further back there. What was that all about? Michael Wayne Robinson, all things are just stacked up back here. That's why. Robinson may have had to go to the apron to avoid running somebody over. Looks like they all settle it out, though. Fortunately. Biggest loser in all that one, though, I think was J Gardner. Now LaPlante's going to go to the point. Whoa, look out, K Batson! Wrecked off the nose of C Deaver. He's coming back up the track. Caution's going to wave. Nobody hits the 39 as he nearly entered back up into a couple of the racing lanes. But the yellow flag's going to fly for the 4th time here tonight, as LaPlante's going to lead them back to the caution. That was contact between a lead lap machine and a lap down car. And sometimes, especially if your car is slower than the driver behind you and you're not on the same lap, that driver that's faster than you is going to have no issues of moving you out of the way. Well, nobody's going to be to pit road, I can guarantee you of that. At least not up here at the front. This driver's all good to go on fuel, and we're going to get that restart with less than 20 to go. LaPlante showing the way. Second, Mitchell Collins. Third, C Belding. Then Sandfer and Acosta going to be the top 5. And I want to point out as well that 2 of the 3 former winners of this event, the Coke 600, came out of Northeast Motorsports. William Brock back in Season 1. And in Season 2, it was Benjamin Miles. And they've got a Northeast Motorsports Chevrolet out in front showing the way here in Austin LaPlante. Just a little food for thought as we're going to go back, take a look at a replay of what happened on the back straightaway for our 4th caution of the evening. Well, Keith Batson and Cole Deaver, a couple of former winners from this season, and let's see what happens here as Deaver's trying to get to the inside of Batson, and does Batson... Oh, it's hard to tell from that angle if Deaver pushed up or if Batson kind of diamonded off the corner and came down across the nose of the 08. Whichever the case, doesn't matter. The end result is that 39 Nathan's Hot Dogs Ford took a hard shot into the inside safer barrier. And I was really worried here when that car started coming back up the track, because I thought maybe somebody on that inside line was going to nail him. But fortunately, everybody was able to avoid Keith Batson, who it looks like is still going to continue, even though he has a lap down machine. And a solo car spin, a solo car wreck, really, let's call it what it is, puts under the caution for the fourth time here tonight in the Coke 600 and sets us up for what's going to be a less than 20 lap to go shootout. No driver out of the race after that one, so we're going to get ready to go back green. A lot more lap machines on that inside line now, though. Rogers, Shelton, Butcher, Batson, and Garcia will be the drivers that LaPlante, Collins, Belding, Sandfer, and Acosta will be trying to get around as quickly as possible. J Qualls, Carson Gum, Tristan Allen, Jack Mitchell, and Jesse Turner. That is completion of your top 10. Been a very quiet but consistent night for Tristan Allen, who right now is the highest running of the non-charter drivers. And for drivers up here inside of the top 10, LaPlante, Sandfer, Acosta, Qualls, Gum, and Mitchell are charter drivers looking for their first wins of the season. Collins, Belding, and Turner have all been to victory lane already this year. Green flag back in the air with officially 17 laps to go. Rogers looks like he is up to speed. And he's going to try and get around LaPlante to get his lap back. If he could get a quick yellow on this lap, he might be able to be back on the tail end of the lead lap. But so far, everybody keeping it together. Some drivers split up there, wadded up behind certain lap slower machines. And Rogers, as he's trying to get his lap back, Mitchell Collins is saying, go 6, go. I want to take the race lead from the 48. Now they're going to be 3 wide behind the 6 car for the race lead. LaPlante trying to swing back around the outside. Belding looking to follow him as he goes high, wide, and handsome through turn 1. There's a 7 of Ryan Butcher, who led quite a bit of this race at the midway portion. He got trapped a lap down because of a pit road incident. He's trying to get back his lap. Oh, goodness. Things tight off of 4. Collins almost went around off the nose of Belding there. Remember, again, these drivers can all make it on fuel. So now it's you've got what you've got towards the checkered flag. Sandfer now goes to the point. Charles Sandfer, 29th in points coming into this race. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s in the first 13 races. Trying to become the second S3 Motorsports driver to go to victory lane. His teammate Cole Deaver did it earlier on at Darlington. As Collins makes an aggressive move to the inside of Ryan Butcher. That is not for position. Collins is in second place, trying to get around the lap machine. Couple of new faces have popped up here in the closing stages of this race. How about the 19 of Carson Gum? That bright yellow neon number 19. And Jack Mitchell in the 01. Couple of Chevrolets trying to spoil the party. J Qualls up here as well. Ryan Acosta just barely latched on to this lead group. As we're closing in to 10 laps to go. Sandfer leading, Collins in second. Then you got Belding trying to get around the lap machine of Ryan Butcher. He's in third, followed by LaPlante in fourth. Fifth place just changed hands. Mitchell gets around Tristan Allen. And Collins is there on the back bumper of Charles Sandfer for the race lead. Took a peek into turn 1, nothing there. Now Belding trying to close in as Collins drove it down a little bit lower out of 2. He's going to get alongside of Charles Sandfer with the side draft, headed for turn 3. Oh, Sandfer tried to pinch him down, tried to clear him, couldn't do it. Collins led that lap on the inside line. Belding, it gave him a little bit of a push there as well to help with that effort. And now Belding wants the lead. Here's LaPlante looking low as well. And if these drivers up inside of the top 9 or 10 start racing like this, Cole, Deaver, and others might be able to have enough time to get up here. But it will be 10 to go this time by. Belding showing the way. He's clear. No, he's not. LaPlante's back to the inside of him going to turn 1. No, Belding does have him clear. But Belding will run the middle line on entry. LaPlante now runs the low line. He slips up. That opens the door. Here comes the McDonald Chevrolet of Jack Mitchell for the race lead. And there is traffic ahead. Traffic could play an outcome into the finish of this race. Hard to tell who that was. Maybe the 23 of Adam Garcia. One of those cars was. I couldn't tell who the other car was. But they will more than likely be factors. Is that Batson's 39 perhaps? It is. LaPlante clears for the top spot. Sandfer looking for second. Belding way up the track there through 3 and 4, as was his Pigeon Racing teammate, Carson Gum. LaPlante's caught the 2 slower machines. He goes low on the 39. Everyone trying to follow him. Now Garcia holds up the 48 on the inside line out of 2. LaPlante's going to make that work though. He'll get to the bottom. Sandfer going to take the 23-3 wide. Probably the only driver I've seen that's been smart enough to push the slower machine up to the higher groove. As now it's a 3-horse race at the front with LaPlante, Collins, and Sandfer. Mitchell now clearing Garcia. Carson Gum does the same. Qualls does. And look at this! Because of the wad up, now William Brock, Dylan Young, Cole Deaver, Vince Almariego, Matthew Rodriguez, Cody Llamas, and others might be in the hunt for this win. This thing is not over. Not by a long shot. We've still got 6 laps to go when they hit the line. Collins now out in front. You've got the lap machine of Ryan Butcher there in the 78. He is not a factor into who's going to win the race in terms of himself, but he could very well be a factor into who's going to win the race for the other drivers around him. And his teammate's not in this. Patrick Smith's in the garage area. So where is the alliance of the 78 going to go? There's no other Toyotas up here right now. Collins hits the line, 5 laps to go here in the Coke 600. Mitchell Collins looking for his first multi-win season. Prior to his win earlier on this year at Texas, he only had 1 career victory. And now, trying to have 2 wins at 2.5-mile tracks in the same year, but Sandfer, he got a great run there through 4. He's back alongside for the race lead. Don't count out drivers like Gum, Deaver, Brock, Qualls, Young, Almariego. They're just latched on to this lead group. They've still got a shot. There's still time. But they've got to start making their moves now, I think. Sooner rather than later. Collins back crossover on Sandfer for the top spot. LaPlante trying to figure out where he wants to go. Does he want to be on the top side or the bottom? He's going to drive it really deep into 1 and 2. He's looking 3 wide for the top spot on the back straightaway. I'm seeing more traffic ahead. I'm hoping it's not going to be a factor in the outcome here. I want to see this thing end the way it is. I don't want to see slower machines holding somebody up. But there's still a lap and a half to go when they hit the back straightaway, so I'm not so certain that car is not going to get caught. Collins ahead. LaPlante now, he's got Mitchell all over his back bumper. There's Deaver there in the 08. Right now, 5 lead lap cars, then the lap car of Ryan Butcher, then it's Carson Gum, William Brock, and James Qualls. Got 8 drivers in the hunt for this win here, with less than a lap and a half to go. Coming off of 4, Mitchell Collins will see the white flag. 1 lap to go in the Coke 600. It's Shelton the car up ahead. I don't think they're going to catch her here on this final lap. Mitchell to the inside of LaPlante for second. Big run through 1 and 2. Will he have something for Collins in 3 and 4? He's got to run, but can he get to the back bumper of the Mobil 1 Ford? Collins through 3 and 4. Looking out the windshield. Looking in the rearview mirror. Here comes Mitchell. He's there, but he's not close enough. Mitchell Collins, he's going to get his second win of the season. He's going to pick up the victory in the Coca-Cola 600. Mitchell Collins now has 3 career wins. All 3 have come at the mile-and-a-half tracks. And this season, both of them have been at the D-shaped quad ovals. Mitchell Collins is going to get Young Motorsports their 4th win of the season. And for the first time in his career, he is a multi-time winner. Collins, who came into this race 15th in points, right there might have just put the exclamation point on his spot in this season's chase for the championship. How about that? Chevrolet had the first 2 wins in the Coke 600, seasons 1 and 2. Ford now has doubled down, seasons 3 and 4. As Mitchell Collins, it was a Mitchell and Mitchell show actually coming to the line. Mitchell Collins edging out Jack Mitchell, who'll have to settle for second. Cole Deaver with a comeback run of third. 4th for Austin LaPlante. 5th for Charles Sandfer. Former winner of this event, William Brock, all the way back from season 1, will get 6th. 7th for Carson Gum. 8th's going to be James Qualls, with Dylan Young, the points leader, finishing a solid top 10 in 9th. And Vince Almariego is going to complete the top 10. Matthew Rodriguez, a bit of a comeback run for him. He's going to finish in 11th. 12th for Charles Belding. So all 3 of the Pigeon Racing Chevrolets finished in the top 15. Michael Rood was the highest of the non-charter drivers tonight in 13th. Cody Llamas and Ryan Acosta complete the top 15, followed by Carter Friesen, pole sitter Matt Haas, T Wright, Phil Parker, and Jordan Lopez. What a crazy one here this evening. Took us 4 cautions to get up to that finish, which was 59 1,000ths of a second. 27 cars finished on the lead lap. 6 drivers finished a lap down, and drivers who did not make it to the conclusion included the defending winner coming to this race of the 600, Levi McIntyre, Patrick Smith. 2nd in points, Benny Watson, Quentin Moore, Cole Baker, Taylor Gerdes, Adam Sampsell, K Mathews, and Jose Millz. All finished in the garage area, a number of them prior to the completion of lap 10. But the celebrations down in the pit box and victory lane of the 22 of Mitchell Collins. He gets his 2nd win of the season, joining drivers Jesse Turner and T Wright atop the board of the number 1 seed for the current playoff standings. Should be a good one next week as well, coming off the heels here of this Coca-Cola 600. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember where we are going, so you're just going to have to wait and find that out at the same time that we do. But congratulations to Mitchell Collins on his 2nd win of the season, 3rd win of his Duracell Cup Series career here in the Crown Jewel race, the Coca-Cola 600. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's longest race of the season. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We have shown your full finish results, and these are what your point standings look like heading into next week as the chase towards the chase for the championship rolls on here in the Duracell Cup Series. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, all flying racing at its best.